Hey YouTube, Coppersan here, thanks for tuning in again. I hope everyone enjoyed the test server live streams over the weekend. I would like to share my first impressions about Hoyoung, the new thief class. Let's dive right in. As someone who plays mostly on pages and battle mages, the first thing I noticed about Hoyoung is that he has a lot of mobility. Most of his skills from second job onwards have some form of mobility built in their kit. For example, he can use his second job attacking skill to slide towards the direction the skill is pointing. He can get an additional hop from his main third job attacking skill. That skill also launches you in the air, by the way, and one of his fourth job skills launches him upwards. Like most thieves, he has a triple jump, and he has a first job skill that allows him to travel on a cloud for a short distance. You can control this cloud freely, like for example Nexon, who can also use his thrusters to fly. Hoyoung is locked into a starting questline though, so when you first start the character you will have to finish the story before you're set loose into the Maple world. And while the story is quite enjoyable, keep this in mind if you prefer Maple grind instead of MapleStory. Now I only had the opportunity to play Hoyoung for about 2 days, but to me it felt like this class was made for training and not per se for bossing. Even though he has some skills which are very useful for bossing, like a hyper skill that allows him to become untargetable for quite a long extended period of time, to be honest. His mobility really shines when he's training, not per se when he's bossing. Actually, I think that his mobility can be quite of a hindrance, especially when most late game bosses require you to know about how you position your character and that you can't move around freely. And most of Hoyoung's 4-job skills actually require him to be in the air. For me it was quite tricky to position him properly, so I wouldn't always, die. For example, I was facing off against Lotus and I keep getting hit by the lasers because Hoyoung likes to jump and be in the air to use some of his skills, and because of that I jumped into the lasers. Might just be me being a noob, could be very possible the case as well, but to me it felt more as a disadvantage when bossing than an advantage. But it's not just his mobility that helps him out a lot when grinding. Hoyoung has no shadow partner sort of skill, but he can summon clones. Those deal more damage to monsters in the map. It's kind of around the area where you're attacking. He can also summon butterflies, that's another attack, that also attack monsters for a short period of time, each time he doesn't attack. I noticed I've said the word attack a lot of times, but basically summons clones, summons butterflies, every time he attacks basically the whole map explodes. And that's not it, his 5th job skills also allow him to summon even stronger clones, and he also has another 5th job skill that does an additional attack every time he attacks. You see a giant feet or hand coming out of the air. This greatly increases DPS, and if you're strong enough you can clear almost the entire map without even attacking everything directly. However, the downside to this class is that these skills won't always be active. Hoyoung uses 2 different types of resources besides his MP and HP. This is Talisman Energy and Scroll Energy. So to briefly explain, he can gain Talisman Energy from nature type skills, which is basically almost all his attacking skills. So if you get that energy meter to 100, you can use a special type of Talisman skill, which then in turn fills up Scroll Energy. Build up enough Scroll Energy, usually 100, and then you can perform a special type of Scroll skill that requires this resource. For example, the butterfly attack buff that I mentioned earlier, that requires Scroll Energy. The clone thing requires Talisman Energy, so in the end you're always busy filling up that meter. That also means that if you want to do bossing or you want to train at the maximum efficiency, it will take some time to build up your energy before you can actually be at max DPS. There is a very useful hyper skill that allows you to gain this energy for free, like it regenerates constantly, but it does have a cooldown, so you have to use it wisely. I can definitely recommend that you create a Hoyoung though, as his link skill is really good. At level 1 the skill gives a 5% ignore defense and 9% additional damage to monsters that have full HP as a passive buff. At level 2, which is the max level of the link skill, it will give you 10% ignore defense and 14% additional damage against monsters who have full HP. That's really good, definitely recommend it. That's all I have for now on this class. I enjoyed playing him, but the additional resource management is not really a thing for me, I'm just more of a hold down a button and watch the whole map explode type of guy. Will you be playing Hoyoung though? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you next time.